From the Paris News from the year 1988. Duckpin bowling moving westward. Bowling with stubby pins and a grapefruit-sized ball has been an East Coast sport for decades, but in recent years, the squatty duckpins have surfaced as far west as Wisconsin and Indiana. It was a regional game initially, but now with national TV exposure, maybe it's going to open up, said Bill Orchard, current president of the National Duckpin Bowling Congress. Even a hint of new activity is encouraging to the 150,000 duckpin bowlers who have lived in the shadow of the more popular 10-pin game played with taller pins and a heavier ball. About 120 duckpin alleys dot the eastern seaboard from New Hampshire and Vermont to North Carolina, but the sport never made its way west. In the past year, however, duckpin has been featured on cable television nationwide, and duckpinners hope the sport will catch on across the country. Bob Moore of College Park, president of Duckpin Bowling Proprietors of America, said duckpin lanes belonging to members of the association plunged 36% after 1980. He said many centers lost their leases because of high land values. But, Orchard noted, since the cable TV programs, there's a lane in Indianapolis that has opened up with great results and also one near Milwaukee. 10-pin advocates acknowledge growing interest in duckpin, but they doubt it will ever rival 10-pin. People just favor the bigger pins and the bigger balls, said Mark Miller, a spokesman for the American Bowling Congress in Greendale, Wisconsin. The Congress estimates 67 million people bowl 10 pins at least once a year, and 7.4 million bowl in weekly leagues. The majority of duckpin bowlers live in and around the nation's capital. They call this duckpin country, said Paul Wolf, 55, who handles maintenance at Southside Bowl. You're either cut out to be a 10-pin bowler, or you're cut out to be a duckpin bowler. For 10-pin players, bowling means sticking 2 fingers and a thumb in the holes of an 8 to 16-pound ball and letting it rip down a shiny alley. Duckpin balls do not have holes and weigh only 3 or 4 pounds. The pins are smaller, too, standing 9 inches tall, compared with the 15-inch 10-pins. I don't believe I could lift one of those 10-pin balls, said James Bud Mason, 73. We just got into duckpin. Oh, we love this old sport. According to the National Duckpin Congress, the game began in 1900 at a bowling alley in Baltimore that was owned by Wilbert Robinson and John McGraw, who played baseball and went on to manage major league teams. Bruce Pluckham, curator of the National Bowling Hall of Fame and Museum in St. Louis, however, says there was a duckpin tournament in Lowell, Massachusetts in 1894. Except for minor variations, duckpin is played and scored as 10-pin is. The real difference occurs when the ball hits the pins. The smaller ball can knock out just the center pins, leaving difficult splits. You get the ball in the middle of the alley with 10-pin, and you get a strike, said Betty Moore of Hagerstown. You put the ball down the middle in duckpin, and you don't know what you'll get. Jack Schufelt of Hagerstown, president of an association representing bowlers in Maryland, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania, said 10-pin is a game of strikes, while duckpin is a game of spares. Anybody can knock them down with those big cannonballs, Schufelt said.